Bob.
Hi there.
Back at it again?
Can't get rid of us.
No, never.
Not yet.
We'll keep watching movies.
Can't stop me. You probably can.
We had 3 new releases this week.
It was a good week.
And then next week, hopefully we'll get to some best of the year 1990.
Yes.
I'm thinking top 5.
Top 5? Okay, we can do that.
You ready to get started?
Start us out. What we got?
Well, the first new release we watched was GOAT.
Made by Sony, definitely in the same sort of style as like your Into the Spider-Verse movies. How'd you feel about the animation?
What it really reminded me of was the bad guys.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm not exactly sure what studio the bad guys was. We watched it on Peacock, though, so I would think
I don't know.
It's Universal. But I thought the animation of the animals felt kind of similar. Even the world felt kind of similar.
Sure.
If you told me that they were set in the same universe, I would believe you.
They might be for all we know. I thought it was a fun little movie. It's about a goat wanting to play basketball in the big league. What more fun can you get?
Okay, so The Bad Guys 2 was produced by DreamWorks Animation.
Okay.
In a mixed production partnership with Sony Pictures Imageworks.
There you go.
So,
good call.
It's my headcanon. They're set in the same universe
Universe.
I do think the animation was very, very similar.
We're going to have an Avengers Assemble sort of situation.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you think we're going to get a live action Miles Morales Spider-Man at some point?
I've heard rumors that they've already cast Miles Morales.
Oh.
But then that rumor, I kind of don't believe it because isn't Miles Morales Afro-Latino?
I think so.
The kid who everyone says has already been cast and word on the street is not.
Okay.
He's not Latino.
It's just Tom Holland again.
No, it's actually the kid who voiced the titular goat in GOAT, Caleb McLaughlin.
Really?
That's who, according to the rumors, has already been cast. But again, I don't really think I believe that one because it's kind of important to the character, his Latino heritage, from my understanding. So I think they would maybe want the actor to also reflect that heritage.
We shall see. I don't know. I thought this movie reminded me a lot, in a good way, of the Spider-Verse movies, and it was a pretty good time kind of throughout. This was a, the main character can almost do no wrong sort of situation. He's just the best going in, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah, when we watched a trailer for this, I wasn't really excited to watch the movie. It seemed kind of silly and juvenile. I know it's a kid's movie, but I'm not the biggest fan of just when the humor is just juvenile and almost talking down to the audience and the children.
That bad.
And I don't think it was doing that, but I kind of assumed it would from the trailer.
I got to see a giraffe play basketball.
You did.
What's more fun than that?
But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I did have fun watching this movie.
Got some memorable characters. I thought the voice acting was superb. Animation was great. The story was fine. If kind of forgettable, I guess.
As with most animation, the main character has a dead mom. I think it's just that these writers know that moms wouldn't put up with a lot of this.
That's fair, yes. If he had proper parental supervision, our goat would not have gotten himself into this situation to begin with.
No.
But he's real good at it.
He is. He's real good at basketball.
Yeah, overall, like I said, I found it an enjoyable kind of animated kids movie, and I'm ready to move on to the next thing. Kind of just see it and leave it.
Yeah, I don't think this one's gonna hit at the Oscars for Best Animated.
You never know.
Because we already have one Pixar movie, Hoppers. I'm pretty sure a new Toy Story is coming out later this year.
Another one. Well, that would be 5 or 6?
I think it's 5.
Jeez, I think I saw 3 was the last one.
3 is the last one I saw as well.
I don't care to see any more, but continue.
I kind of don't think the door is open for something like this to get in at the Oscars.
Maybe not, yeah.
One thing I thought was really cool here was the like the basketball courts, it wasn't just they're playing regular basketball. They were very different depending on what city they were playing in. So they were from Vine Land, and so there were vines and obstacles all over the court. There was an ice one, a fire one.
It's like basketball with a triathlon
Yes.
glued on top.
And that really allowed for the opportunity to elevate the visuals.
Yes. It was a great looking movie.
Yeah.
But you're right. Is this probably going to win all the awards? Maybe not. I don't want to say like the plot's kind of forgettable, but it's about what you expect. That's fine. Like I said, it's a kids movie. I thought it was thoroughly enjoyable. I don't know if I'd go out of my way to watch it again, I guess.
I probably wouldn't either. There are other animated movies from the last year or so that I've enjoyed more than this one.
But hey,
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Gotta make room for the new goat.
Dogman.
Dogman.
I loved Dogman.
It is lots of fun.
And then even this year, Hoppers was really great, even though I had a few issues with the overall message.
But hey, it's not like basketball is unpopular, so maybe this movie will do numbers.
I'm sure a lot of kids loved this movie. And you know what? I think that's perfectly fine. I don't think there was anything about this movie that would make a kid a worse person.
None at all. But yeah, pretty, I would say just kind of average overall. Not bad. I think I like the animation that's coming out of Sony right now, and I hope they continue that trend. Who knows? We'll get a sequel maybe one day. Goat 2, Electric Boogaloo. Say gets an 85%.
An 85. I'm gonna give Goat, I'm gonna give it a 75.
75, okay.
It pleasantly surprised me, but like we said, it's not something I can really see myself going back to.
Sure, it's like you enjoy your initial watch through, and like I said, I'm ready to watch the next thing.
I mean, we didn't really talk about the plot much because the plot, it's not really that
There wasn't a
deep.
huge amount of plot. He just plays the basketball and beats the other team and his bullies, I guess, and
Yeah, Goat wants to play basketball.
Goat plays basketball.
People tell Goat he can't play basketball because he is small Goat. Goat still plays basketball and proves them all wrong.
And it's not like he's having to learn how to play basketball. He's got the mad skills to begin with. I
He
like when he puts
does.
on his goat vision. His eyes go all crossy.
I do kind of wish, actually, they'd expanded on that more because I remember when that happened in the movie, we took note of it and we're like, oh, that's cool.
He's
But
going to use his goat vision to overcome his smallness, I suppose.
I honestly forgot that that was a thing until you just brought it up. There could have probably been something really cool done with the animation of going into his POV and seeing the goat vision
That's
on the
true.
court.
We only got a little bit.
It was still pretty good. I will say there was one plot. Our goat, he gets evicted. And let me tell you, that landlord did not follow eviction laws.
None at all.
He just threw him out
Hey,
day of.
animal world. Rules don't apply. I did like how Goat would just snack on metal cans absentmindedly.
One of my favorite jokes was Goat is staying at his friend's house after he gets evicted, and was it a cockroach?
I think so.
Yeah, like a cockroach crawls up on him because the apartment's dirty, and he, the cockroach, since animals talk, says, "Hey, what's up?" And he gets freaked out and kind of brushes the cockroach off. And then later, he's doing his first press conference, and the main, what animal was it? Gabrielle Union voiced the main player on the team.
What was she like? Leopard or something? Or like a
A big cat.
Yeah, big key cat.
She says, "You don't know about any of this stuff. You're essentially not PR trained." He's like, "I'm going to be fine." He gets up there. One of the first things he says is he was like essentially sleeping in this dump with cockroaches. And then immediately, "Oh, the cockroach community's mad at you." You're getting canceled by the cockroach community.
That was pretty good.
And I did think that was funny. And I actually would have liked, maybe it's just because that's where my interests lie. I think it would have been fun if they had expanded on that notion that he is not PR trained and now all of a sudden he's famous.
Yes, that would have been interesting.
Because we really only got that little blip.
Like I said, perhaps they'll get a sequel in the works and flesh out some of the different themes they were exploring.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me. I'll have to see how much money this made.
Yeah, but yeah, if they do Goat 2, I'll watch it. Thanks for the good movie, Sony.
Man, I bet Sony feels real stupid for selling K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, definitely. They're trying to make a comeback now. Not to happen.
They were doing a lot of cross promotion here. They had the PS5 logos all over the place. I'm pretty sure they were even driving a Mercedes at one point.
Yeah, a couple times they showed the Mercedes logo, so...
Why are we advertising a Mercedes in a kids movie? I don't think kids are buying Mercedes.
Gotta start them off early.
I suppose.
Mercedes kids cars, those are probably things.
You know what? I think they do make those where you can put the little kid in it and it's like remote controlled
yeah, you
or
either
whatever.
just push it or it's got like a little remote control.
I do think there's a Mercedes version of that now that you mention it.
Gotta start them off right. Start them early.
Gotta build that brand loyalty.
Yeah, I'd say this movie, worth the hype overall. It's not going to blow your mind probably, but it's a fun time.
All right, but does your worth the hype correspond with the Rotten Tomatoes score?
I'm going to say yes. People like this.
84%.
84.
That's pretty close. 84, that's a little high for me. That's like slightly overhyped, but I think if you like animation or if the story seems intriguing, you'll probably like it. Like I said, I gave it a 75, so I'm perfectly fine that I sat down and watched this movie.
Certainly not bad. I didn't waste our time.
Exactly. And it's on Netflix now, so if you already have that.
Yeah, give it a go.
It has a 92% audience score.
To be expected. I'm sure tons of people like this.
This feels like a crowd pleaser, yeah.
Next up, what we got?
So the next movie we watched, also a new release, it was called Touch Me. Man, this was
what a movie.
Certainly an inventive movie.
I don't know how to describe this movie exactly.
I think this movie was about codependency and trauma bonding.
That's pretty accurate, I guess. We've got these two kind of like millennial burnouts, and then this guy's an alien, these tentacle things. We don't explain it too much.
Yeah, I wasn't fully sure what tone this movie was going to be going into it.
Sci-fi dark comedy, maybe?
I think so, because...
How I describe it?
We open the movie, and it's our main character. Her name is Joey, and it's this big, long take monologue. She's in therapy, and she's talking about this traumatic event that happened to her involving this man, and she says he's an alien and that she was staying with him for a while. They were essentially a couple, and then he almost killed her one day and she had to run, you know?
Just an accident.
I'm not sure about that. And she says the alien's name is Brian, and that's probably not his real name, but he just goes by Brian because he found it in a baby book. And she says that Brian has come to Earth because he has these tree seeds, and those trees are supposed to suck up a bunch of carbon emissions, and it's gonna essentially save the Earth from climate change. Spoiler alert, we do find out that's not true.
No.
But given that first scene, because it was a pretty long scene of just kind of this exposition, and I was wondering if that was how the whole movie was going to be, because it seemed maybe lower budget.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the money for a bunch of effects, you might just go that route. But that was not true of this movie. They were showing, not telling for the rest of the time, I think.
It was just kind of setting us up, I suppose.
I also wasn't sure, based on just that scene either, if, am I supposed to believe her? Are aliens actually real? Or was this just some unhinged guy?
Sure. We're not sure at first how reliable Joey is going to be. But pretty spot on, actually. Brian is an alien.
Yeah, she was telling the whole truth the entire time.
He has tentacles.
At least what she knew of the truth. He was lying to her a little bit.
Brian's a little sketchy, but hey, he's an alien.
Brian is quite sketchy. Joey, she lives with her best friend. His name is Craig. And like you said, they're kind of portrayed as burnouts.
I like their little friendship dynamic they had going on.
Yeah, those actors had really good chemistry.
They did, yes. Like you said, this probably wasn't the highest budget movie ever, but everything meshed pretty well, I think.
It did. And I would like to point out, I realized Craig from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it was from 2 episodes of Degrassi,
Yes.
where him and Riley were hooking up in the woods.
Yes. What a callback. Watch Degrassi. It's wild.
It's the best. But anyway, they have some apartment issues. Their shower seems to be overflowing with sewage.
Mm-hmm. Not a good time.
And they don't really have the money to deal with it because Craig, he gets money from his family and he doesn't want to ask them for more money. We realize that's because he has family trauma because they all suck.
Yes, very much.
And then Joey has really bad anxiety and panic attacks.
Hence the therapy.
Yeah, after this incident with Brian the alien. So we see her try to get a job and she can't.
Mm-hmm.
She ends up getting an invite from Brian to please come back. And Brian, he's got the funds. So Joey and Craig say, we're going to go over to Brian's house. We're going to just watch our backs and we're going to stay there so we're not staying with all this sewage and maybe we'll get a little something to fix it.
Yes.
And then once they get to, it looks like a compound almost.
Felt kind of culty to me a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. I saw someone on Letterboxd call this a Jared Leto biopic.
I was just thinking that's something like that.
And I think that person was right.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really when the whole tone of the movie shifts because it feels pretty grounded in reality for that first little bit.
Oh, at first, but then.
And then once you get over here, it's like
Tentacles
everywhere. It's insane. And they do show the tentacles. I was thinking maybe that would just be something that was said and not shown for budgetary reasons. But no.
Being touched by the tentacles gives you like a euphoric kind of state, if I understand it.
Yeah, and it calms you down because as we know from both Joey and Craig, they both have PTSD from childhood. They were both abused as children. And so once they get a little bit of that, it's addictive. They go through withdrawals even when they don't have it.
I think the movie synopsis describes it as like heroin-like effects.
Yes.
So they get addicted to it. Yeah, addicted to Brian's touch, which is unfortunate.
And Brian, he's like a man-child. That's really how he's played. Even every time they sit down for dinner, Brian has this housekeeper henchwoman named Laura.
Mm-hmm.
She's cooking these nice dinners, and every time Brian just has dino nuggets and fries in front of him.
Dino nuggets are great, okay?
I don't like them. I'm scared of dinosaurs, and I don't like ground chicken.
2 of the most terrifying things, I know.
Mm-hmm. Now some vegan dino nuggies.
I'd try them.
I would eat that.
Yeah. It was tough to kind of know what to make of this movie when you're watching it for the first time.
Yeah, because it's definitely very silly in some points.
Mm-hmm.
But then you'll just have a big long monologue of someone describing how they were assaulted as a child. And it's just kind of all there, like right after each other. So yeah, there's some like tonal whiplash going on.
it didn't feel too jarring because you could get the feel going into the movie. Okay, it's going to be kind of out there. So it didn't strike me so much as swinging back and forth in tone as much as the movie wasn't afraid to go there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Very funny that Brian really into his hip hop dancing.
Loves it. Fantastic dancer.
Anytime he needed to think about something, I'm gonna go dance it out.
Time to start twerking.
Only wears tracksuits, essentially like Jane Lynch in Glee.
Oh yeah, good comparison. I would almost have to watch this again to figure out what in the world was going on, but it did pique my curiosity, so I'd be willing to give this one another try. Initial watch throughs, I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to be getting from this, you know?
There were multiple tentacle sex scenes.
Yeah.
Because when they have, as Brian calls it, interspecies intercourse, he's essentially wrapping tentacles all over him.
All over, yeah.
Because, of course, in a shock to no one, Joey and Craig get there. He is immediately having sex again with Joey.
Yes.
And then he immediately after that goes to have sex with Craig.
Gotta have some boundaries, man. Brian is he's too passionate.
Well, and then as Laura says to him, because she's been trying to get with him as well, and he just won't. She's a middle-aged woman.
Yeah, I guess.
And she says to him at one point, you only pick people who are extremely attractive. Like, I'm attractive too. What's wrong with you?
Fair argument. Fair.
And he's like, no, I don't. But it's obvious.
Yes. I'm your employer. It's weird. Brian's got boundaries, okay? He's got principles.
Yes, Brian has boundaries.
We only tentacle in very specific situations, okay?
We learn that he's actually a parasite alien who just kind of wound up on Earth. He does mention at one point he's probably 5 years old, which I guess is why he acts like such a little kid.
Yeah.
And
fun little take on that, I guess.
He's been, I guess, cloning himself through other people. We see a flashback, which was done in a black and white sequence that I thought was cool, where he meets up with this guy on a dating app, brings him back, and he's feeding on him. So when he feeds on someone, he essentially tentacles them so hard their head explodes. And then I guess he's inputting his spawn into them.
I guess.
To grow those clones.
And those are the trees, right? He pops out of the dirt?
Yeah, I think so.
He then buries them and then a new him pops out, I don't know, a few weeks later or something.
I think so. They didn't get super in detail with the logic, but that was okay. I don't think they needed to. And he does end up, because they think they've killed him, but he has cloned himself in Laura, and then he's cloned himself in Craig, and they have to cut it out. And I honestly didn't even think about this until the movie brought it up. He never clones himself in Joey.
Oh, yeah. Respects her too much.
I guess. He keeps saying he loves her. I don't even know if that's entirely true. Maybe he thinks he does. But
yeah, maybe what a 5-year-old thinks of love.
Yeah, oh, pretty girl, I love you. That's fair.
There you go.
That makes sense.
Parasite's gonna parasite.
You know, I probably would have said the same thing to her when I was 5. So
I was really hoping we'd get a scene like the ugly stepdaughter removing the parasite sort of situation. Nothing quite like that.
Yeah.
Lots of pulling, squelching.
That whole scene
great.
In Ugly Stepsister, I thought they were going to start pulling it out and then start pulling her organs out with it. Oh, yeah. They didn't do that, but still. But yeah, they just cut the parasite out with a knife. They do kind of have a revelation, Joey and Craig, that they've maybe been a little too codependent with each other, and they might be better off just separating.
Grow on
might
your
help
own.
them grow as people. And then I think you can see that codependency allegory also happening with Brian. Like, oh, you're in a toxic relationship, but when they're nice to you, it feels euphoric.
Yes.
So I thought the themes were pretty well done here.
Like you said, this movie has good takes on like confronting trauma and dealing with trauma and anxiety and things, how that manifests. It was interesting.
And then more spoilers. By the end of the movie, we learn Craig, he dies from having the thing cut out of him. Joey loses her hand. So does Craig. They both end up
they
losing
get
their
munched
hands.
off.
We end where we began. She's in therapy. I guess I appreciated that she tells this whole story to her therapist, and the therapist points out all of the plot holes from the movie. Like I said, I wasn't really thinking about the plot holes until that was brought up, but maybe after reflection I would have. So at least they acknowledged it.
I appreciate when movies are self-aware sometimes.
Because at the end of the day, a lot of those things don't even really matter to the story at large.
Exactly. No need to nitpick.
Yeah.
And I love nitpicking.
But overall, I mean, I thought this movie was really intriguing. It was certainly an idea that I could have never come up with.
Exactly. I appreciate, it's a low-budget sci-fi movie, and they made it memorable, and I think I would need to watch it again to appreciate it even more. For that right now, I'll give it like a 78. It's kind of outside my wheelhouse a little bit of what I normally go for, but that doesn't make it a bad movie.
I'm going to give this an 85.
Okay, you liked it.
I did like it. I thought, like I said, it was unique. I thought the acting was really good. I didn't need all of those tentacle sex scenes. But
aren't you glad we had them?
No. I guess at least it didn't get too graphic.
Yes, yeah. If tentacles and squelching give you the icks, maybe skip this movie.
See, it gives me the ick, but for me, a lot of times, especially with more of these genre movies, I think I'm really desensitized to a lot of things. So when something can make me a little uncomfortable, I think I appreciate it even more.
Fair enough.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, this has an 84%.
Okay, not bad.
So I think that's worth the hype. Absolutely.
We're mirroring our scores for these two movies. Yeah, worth the hype. Not bad. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
We need more weird sci-fi out there.
Exactly. And I think this is an independent movie.
So
we love independent films.
We love supporting them.
Mm-hmm. And our last movie, another new release. This one's a Netflix original called Remarkably Bright Creatures, starring Sally Field.
We love Sally.
2-time Oscar winner.
Oh, 2-time?
Mm-hmm. And
soon to be 3-time.
I don't think this movie is going to do anything at the Oscars.
You do not know the future. This was a fun little movie about tragedy and octopi.
Yeah, it is about Sally Field and her friendship with an octopus, which the first thing that made me think of was the Netflix documentary that did win an Oscar.
There you go.
My Octopus Teacher. And
same spirit.
I had a feeling this movie would end the exact same way as My Octopus Teacher, and I was correct. Spoiler alerts for both. The octopus dies.
But we get a new one at the end.
We do get a new one.
I liked everything with Sally Fields, and what was the guy's name?
Lewis Pullman?
Lewis Pullman. He's a really good actor. I've liked seeing him in a few different things over the last few years. I do think the plot overall was sort of like Hallmarky.
It was Hallmarky. If Sally Field were not in this movie, it would be on Hallmark.
It really would. I don't know why we give Sally Fields this tragic backstory. Her husband died. Her son was lost at sea. Spoilers again, but Lewis Pullman is her secret grandson.
That was
kind of against the odds there, but hey, we can't have people having relationships in movies without them being related somehow.
That's true. I would like more just fully platonic relationships.
There would have been nothing wrong with that.
Because I've had friendships with plenty of older people in my life who I wasn't related to, and those are nice relationships.
Impossible. Have you considered your secret granddaughter?
I mean, who knows?
I liked the narration from the octopus, and what was his name again? Like Gabriel or
Doc
something?
Ock.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was Doc Ock. I liked that. I want to say Gabriel.
No, it wasn't Gabriel. You're thinking of
Dr.
the
Octavius.
guy from the back of the head in
Oh, Malignant?
Malignant. That's Gabriel.
Oh. Close enough.
Marcellus. Not
That was
close
it.
to Gabriel at all.
Same spelling, same letters. It's okay. It's got them rearranged.
But yeah, I guess our story really starts with Lewis Pullman coming into town. It's this small town in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very
they've
like
got
on
this
the water.
aquarium. Yeah, because they're on the water. And Lewis Pullman comes in. He lives in this camper van.
Mm-hmm.
And he says someone in town owes him money. And he needs to get his van fixed. So he gets a job cleaning up at the aquarium because Sally Field has fallen and is injured. And she's the cleaning lady there and she can't do it anymore.
Yes, she's befriended the octopus, Marcellus, and is kind of a loner. She lives on her own. She's got some nosy neighbors, I think, but otherwise, I liked that she befriended all the animals, and they were her sort of source of comfort when she was alone.
Yeah, they were the ones that she could really talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Because while it seems she had love for her friends, the nitwits, the knitting circle,
Yeah.
she seems to understand a theme that we explored in Edward Scissorhands, what I like to call small town mentality.
Yes, very much so.
That if I tell these people something that happened or how I feel about something, well, the whole town's gonna know in a few days. It's gonna get spread. And she's already dealt with a lot of rumors and people talking about her son.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's kind of some mystery over, did he just go out to sea and there was an unfortunate accident? Did he kill himself?
Right.
And I guess people in the town were kind of whispering around, calling her a bad mom.
Yeah, a lot of gossip. She starts training Lewis Pullman at the aquarium. She doesn't want to give up doing her job as best she can, even though she's looking at maybe moving and has injured herself, can't get around as much anymore.
Yeah, and she wants to hang out with her bestie, Marcellus.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
And Marcellus has been escaping from his enclosure and, as we learn, kind of trying to make his way for the door. But then he's also trying to help Sally Field and Lewis Pullman because I guess Marcellus knew the whole time that he was really her secret grandson.
Wild to me. I know they're intelligent creatures, even remarkably, but still.
Hey, we learned by the end of the movie that the titular remarkably bright creatures are humans.
Are we, though?
Depends on the human.
Fair. I appreciated that this movie was showcasing a lot of aquatic wildlife, so that was always fun to see. I like the little jellyfish tank, them blooping along.
I hated Lewis Pullman trying to date. He treated that woman so bad. I would not have given him another chance.
No.
They met each other like twice. Of course, she's not going to
Mention she's got a kid.
Introduce you to her kid yet, you know? And then I get getting a little freaked out and maybe running away the first time. But
He like turned and ran out the door.
I feel like after an hour or so, you should have had time to collect yourself and apologize.
Ghost.
But he ghosted her for like weeks, I think, or
you
at
live
least
in the
days.
same small town of like 100 people. What do you think was going to happen?
Exactly.
I kind of wish we would have had more of a live actual octopus. I think that one was digital.
It was a digital octopus for sure, yeah.
Some of the animals were. I think we got a good mix of both, maybe.
I think so, but yeah, a lot of the more close-up shots where the octopus needs to be doing something specific, it's of course
This was based
CGI.
off a book, wasn't it?
I
Maybe?
think so. Let me fact check.
I just kind of wish the movie had been about Marcellus the octopus and him like getting out and backstory a little bit. We see how he came to be in the aquarium and got injured and everything. We have the weird son has had a secret child and Lewis Pullman ends up being secret grandson of Sally Fields. Just kind of came out of nowhere.
It is a book.
It is a book, yep. It's all sort of feel-goody. That's fine.
Yeah. I think there's a place for a feel-good movie. They're usually not my cup of tea, a movie with this tone,
I guess it's kind of Hallmarky.
but it is for a lot of people.
Yeah, fair.
I think
I'm too jaded for this movie. I see all the
Exactly.
happiness. I'm like, nah, something's wrong. I guess we get aspects of maybe dealing with work-life balance when you're aging or living alone, and this is about like loneliness and in family and the unexpected places. Secret grandson.
I did think it was wild that a big plot line was Sally Field deciding if she was going to move into a retirement community, even though she really didn't want to. And even when she fell, which wasn't even her fault, it's because Marcellus pushed her over.
He was trying to offer the whole time.
She was still able to get around
Oh, yeah, she
and
set a boot on.
drive and take care of herself. So, in my opinion, if that woman doesn't want to be put into a home, I don't see why she would be put into one. She was perfectly capable.
Oh, absolutely. Great house, too.
I would never give up that house.
It was one of those, I don't know, it strikes me as kind of cliche, but it's realistic. I'm sure she has the one room in her house that her son used to live in that she never goes into, but has to kind of face when she's sell the house.
I think a lot of people do that when someone passes away. They don't really touch their room or their things.
Doesn't make for a good movie, though.
Well, remember, we had the secret box of stuff that
Of
gave us
course.
further proof that Lewis Pullman was her secret grandson.
Oh, yeah. Lewis Pullman tries to track down who he thinks is his dad. He gets the wrong guy and finds out Sally Fields' son was secretly meeting a gal who he got pregnant, and I guess when he was going to see her one time on his boat, he had an accident and ended up, I don't know, lost at sea.
Well, him and Sally Field had a really bad fight,
Oh, that was
and
it.
then he kind of stormed out and was like, I'm gonna go get on my boat, and then he died.
Showed her.
But yeah, Lewis Pullman thought this rich, real estate mogul in town was his dad, so he was planning to go and get some money from him. And when he finally does meet up with this guy, the guy says, I'm not your dad. I was your mom's gay best friend. She was
Yes.
my beard.
It's like, I don't know why we needed these weird wrinkles added in this plot. It always makes more sense to me, like, oh, this is a book. I can start to tell.
Exactly.
Like, you have weird elements kind of coming in all over the place. The flow doesn't work as well.
I can understand that. Yeah, this probably was structured better in book form.
But don't get me wrong, Sally Fields gives a great performance. Everyone does.
Yeah, I didn't think this movie was bad at all, just because it's not my usual genre or style of movie. It doesn't mean it's bad, you know?
Absolutely. I don't know. I would say fairly average overall. I don't know if I'd find myself coming back to this
I
movie
don't think I
anytime
would.
soon. I'm going to say, extra bonus points for Sally Fields and aquatic life in general. Let's give it a 76.
I'm gonna give this a 72.
What was your biggest dislike of this movie? Mine is Secret Grandson. that was something.
I think for me, it was probably the whole I gotta go to the retirement community aspect.
Yeah.
Because no, you didn't.
Oh, no, you didn't.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, this has an 82%.
Okay. Not bad. Like I said, is this sort of like our other movies? Is this going to blow anyone's minds? Not necessarily. Doesn't make it a bad movie, though.
Yeah, exactly. And it has a 90% audience score,
Ooh.
so
That's all Sally right there.
it's got some fans. I do think 82% is a bit overhyped. I don't really see myself recommending this movie
Maybe
unless
not.
someone is a big fan of aquatic life
If you
or
wanna
Sally Field.
Learn more about octopi. You've already, like you mentioned, there's already an Oscar award-winning, documentary?
My octopus teacher, yes, there is.
Already available. Maybe give that a watch instead. But if you just want to put something on and just chill out, watch a movie, you don't have to worry too much about it and just have a good time,
this might not be a bad movie.
I do think there is a type of movie, and this falls under that category, that's going to hit certain people in the feels every time.
Sure.
And it's the animal dies at the end kind of movie.
It was just sort of like, I don't know, he's old. Release me back to the ocean.
Yeah, she released him back into the ocean.
No, she's definitely getting fired for letting the octopus opening the door for him as he slinks out to the ocean.
Absolutely, but it was worth it.
It was worth it.
And we don't even really see Marcellus die on screen. We get in the voiceover that he died and that he was getting to spend his last moments alive out in the ocean. I think an octopus that was domesticated for that long, if you just introduced it back into the wild, might die pretty quickly.
Pretty soon. I figure even like temperature-wise might shock it too badly.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I think my favorite part of this movie was probably Doc Ock's voiceover. That was really well done.
I honestly didn't care about that. I don't care about voiceovers. I guess it made sense in the fact that Marcellus is technically a character.
Yeah.
Voiceover isn't my favorite narrative device, especially in something based on a book.
True.
Because you can just tell, oh, this is how the book was written and it was in this POV and this is what was said.
But not a bad week, all in all. I'd say, what was your favorite movie of the week?
Yeah, I didn't dislike any of these movies. My ranking, I'm going to say Touch Me, Goat, Remarkably Bright Creatures.
I'll go the same with Remarkably Bright. I'm going to put Goat up top.
Okay.
A little bit more just... I like a lot of animated movies, and it was just good.
You know, just a fun story you could just kind of keep along with. It doesn't get too dark or dour at any time.
Yeah, it was very visually interesting.
Yeah. Give me the bright flashes and all the colors, and I'll just eat my popcorn and have a good time.
Fair enough.
Cross the finish line.
Mm-hmm. And
there are no more movies to watch ever. We've watched them all.
No, that's not true.
Oh.
Because next week we will
we're doing a
watch
recap.
Some new releases.
Yeah.
Depending on how many new releases we have,
we'll see.
We'll see if we can get to the best of 1990 list.
A little reflection on our excursion into the great 90s movies.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, we'll move on to 1991.
Let's go.
But with that,
Thanks for listening.
goodbye.
So long.